While we were preparing to eat turkey, Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt and Attorney General Gentner Drummond were fighting about another bird, chickens, and their poop, and how it seeped into the Illinois River in our part of the state. Stitt wants to finish a lawsuit that started a long time ago. Drummond says the governor's proposal to end the legal fight is not adequate to actually getting the Illinois River cleaned back up to where it needs to be. Governor Kevin Stitt and Attorney General Gentner Drummond are once again ruffling each other's feathers, and this time actual feathers are involved. In their latest tiff, Stitt says Drummond's proposal to end a 2-decade-old legal battle with Tyson Foods and other poultry companies for their chicken farm poop seeping into the Illinois River would lead to the closure of family chicken farms in eastern Oklahoma. Stitt says Tyson is threatening to pull out of the state. Quote, "Put simply, your proposal threatens the livelihoods of countless families in eastern Oklahoma and places Oklahoma's ability to locally produce food at risk. And endless mediation and retroactive enforcement serve neither Oklahoma consumers nor our agricultural backbone."
This has been going on for decades.
It was back in 2005, then Attorney General Drew Edmondson sued poultry producers whose farms in eastern Oklahoma allowed their chicken waste to run off into the Illinois River, causing environmental damage that to an extent exists even today. Families and tourists enjoy a cleaner Illinois River now, but traces of chicken poop and some of the ecological challenges it creates still exist. So much so, a federal judge ruled that chicken producers like Tyson are responsible for the damage done to the river, and they bear the responsibility of cleaning it up more. Tyson asked for the lawsuit to be thrown out, saying the judge issuing a ruling just last year in a 2005 case was improper. But the judge said his ruling still stands and both sides need to reach an agreement to resolve this once and for all. Drummond's proposal is a $100 million fine on top of making the poultry companies put in programs to better clean up the river. Responding to Stitt, Drummond said, quote, "Tyson is actively working to acquire additional processing capacity in the watershed, and Tyson is engaging in shameless gamesmanship, using Oklahoma's hardworking farmers as pawns while threatening to withdraw contracts." Drummond also added, "A thriving poultry industry and clean water can absolutely coexist. What we cannot accept is allowing massive corporations to pollute our waterways without consequence." But Edmondson, who is no longer with the case but still follows it, says even if something happens at the lower court level, a resolution will likely be tied up in appeals for more years to come.
They are going to continue polluting the land and water of the state of Oklahoma unless and until somebody pays them or orders them to stop. And they will do everything that they can to avoid compensating the state for the damage that they've done. Now, why the governor would choose to be on the side of dirty water instead of on the side of the people of the state of Oklahoma is a mystery to me.
So let's take a look at where this case specifically stands about pollution. The case is still open and pending in court, but the ruling that poultry companies and their farm partners still stands and are at fault for pollution on the Illinois River is still what is being determined here as to how much they have to do. The judge asked both sides to come up with a plan to address the issue, but both sides are at odds over what that solution will be. It's likely the judge is going to have to come up with a final judgment, which, as you just heard, is likely going to be immediately appealed. That judgment could come down in a few weeks, if not a couple of months. For a while during the 2024 legislative session last year, some state lawmakers attempted to override the federal judge who held the poultry companies and their partner farms accountable for their pollution, but they had to stop after being told such a legal maneuver was unconstitutional.
What the amendment does, it takes out the retroactive. That's unconstitutional. The legislature has no authority in ongoing lawsuits or litigation, so we've removed that out of the bill.
That was on the House floor in March 2024. The U.S. Constitution, as well as state law, prohibits lawmakers from legislating over things of the past and trying to change things that took place in the past through law, such as a court ruling that had already come down. Some lawmakers were attempting to replace the judge's ruling with a new state law that voided out most, if not all, claims the state had when it came to seeking compensation for cleanup and prevention. When it comes to the Illinois River itself here in eastern Oklahoma, phosphorus from chicken waste is still constantly monitored, especially in the Illinois River. Phosphorus is to blame for making the Illinois River and other eastern Oklahoma bodies of water have a cloudiness to them. Agencies in Oklahoma and Arkansas share the duties of monitoring phosphorus because it can be a new indicator of new pollution seeping into the entire watershed. It was this pollution that was at the center of the lawsuit we've been talking about, in which big poultry companies like Tyson and Cargill Cargill were found guilty of polluting the Illinois River in the 90s and early 2000s. Phosphorus is also a key food that certain types of algae like to feed off of. An increase in phosphorus can lead to an increase in algae that will hurt fish and other wildlife that rely on the river. It could also impact the fun you have as you float the river in the summertime. There will likely never be another huge case like this when it comes to river pollution. Yes, there will still be pollution lawsuits, but nothing of this size likely ever again. During the 2024 legislative session, state lawmakers voted to shift responsibility for water pollution away from chicken farms and private industry, and instead now puts the burden on the state and the agriculture department, as long as a farm is abiding by what is called a nutrient management plan. A farm cannot be sued for any runoff pollution caused by chicken poop that may get into a waterway. Only in cases of gross negligence can a lawsuit still happen.
Since 2016, phosphorus levels have gone down. We're seeing improvements, and those are a result of the best management practices that this is going to help and encourage.
You have multinational, multi-billion-dollar corporations such as Tyson that are using Oklahoma as its dumping grounds to pollute our state.
The bill to make these changes had bipartisan support, bipartisan opposition, including from a group of Tulsa Republicans joining with Democrats, saying they even had concerns about the city of Tulsa's own water supply falling victim to poultry waste runoff. The Cherokee Nation also opposed such a change, saying it would open up pollutions of their historic lands and violated their sacred connection to water.